When I married Lien, I knew her mother, May, was a strong personality. She always believed no one was good enough for her daughter, especially a foreigner like me. Still, I tried my best to win her approval, bringing her gifts, helping around the house, and learning bits of Mandarin to communicate better. But no matter what I did, she always found a reason to mock me. One evening, Lien invited her mother over for dinner. Everything seemed fine at first. May smiled politely, praised the food, and even offered to pour me some tea. But as the night went on, she began speaking rapidly in Chinese, pointing at me and chuckling with her phone pointed my way. I didn't react immediately. She thought I didn't understand. But over the years, I had learned more of the language than she realized. Her words cut deep. She was mocking my job, saying Lien could have married a real man with money, not someone who fixes computers for a living. She laughed about how I was lucky to have a wife who tolerated me. I kept quiet, pretending I didn't catch a word, but inside, my patience was wearing thin. Later that night, after they both went to bed, I noticed May's phone left charging on the counter. I shouldn't have, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened her recent videos. There it was, a clip of her mocking me during dinner, filmed secretly, captioned in Chinese, "Look at my daughter's poor husband." I felt humiliated. I deleted the clip but didn't say a word. Instead, I decided to keep my own eyes open. The next morning, Lien told me her mother was planning to stay with us for a few days while renovations happened at her apartment. I agreed, though I didn't believe that story. Something about May's behavior felt off. She kept making long phone calls late at night, whispering in the hallway, and leaving the house at odd hours. One evening, when she said she was going to meet a friend from the temple, I decided to follow her. She took a cab across town to a small restaurant. I parked nearby and waited. A few minutes later, I saw a man approach her, not a friend, but someone she hugged tightly and kissed before they went inside. My jaw dropped. This was the same woman who judged me for not being respectable. I quietly took photos, not for revenge, but to have proof. I didn't want to accuse her blindly. When I returned home, she was already back, pretending to be tired and saintly. I played it cool. The next morning at breakfast, she mocked my Chinese pronunciation again, laughing with Lien as if I were a child. That's when I decided enough was enough. I turned to her and spoke clearly, in perfect Mandarin, "Do you speak to your boyfriend like this too?" Her face went pale. Lien froze, staring at me in shock. I pulled out my phone and showed the pictures. Lien covered her mouth, whispering, "Mom, what is this?" May stammered, trying to deny it, but the evidence was undeniable. She said it was just a friend, yet her tone cracked with guilt. Lien was furious, not just because of the affair, but because her mother had spent years judging others while hiding her own betrayal. The argument that followed was explosive. May tried to turn it on me, saying I had invaded her privacy, but Lien silenced her. "You humiliated my husband, filmed him, and lied to both of us," she said through tears. May grabbed her things and stormed out, but her power over our marriage ended that day. For the first time, Lien looked at me with real remorse. She apologized for letting her mother treat me that way and promised things would change. I believed her, but I also knew trust takes time to rebuild. I didn't need revenge. The truth had spoken for itself. A few weeks later, we received word that May's lover's wife had discovered the affair. Everything came crashing down for her. The perfect image she'd built was gone. She called Lien, crying for forgiveness, but Lien refused to answer. That night, as we sat quietly on the balcony, Lien took my hand. "You were right about her," she whispered. "I should have defended you." I nodded, not out of pride, but because I knew we'd both learned something painful yet necessary. From that day on, our marriage slowly healed. The bitterness her mother had planted between us began to fade. And though I'll never forget the humiliation of that dinner, I found peace knowing the truth always reveals itself, even to those who think they can hide behind laughter and lies.